A readable from Herta Space Station in Honkai Star Rail. This narration has been lightly edited for readability. Researcher Eikura Shuus' diary. Pages recording the unrest and extreme emotions of researcher Eikura Shuus, shunned, exiled, forgotten. 3951, 2157 AE, Lyrid meteor shower. This may sound strange, but imagine a Herta Space Station researcher who spends a ton of time in space, but is still terrified of zero gravity. I've been back inside for 5 hours, and I can still feel the traction cable wrapped tight around my chest. I know that cable's strong. It's made from a rare lithium fluoride that even the sharpest blade can't cut, but I still imagine it snapping. I imagine being untethered, slowly floating away into space. In this vast universe, there's definitely a place for everyone. Why should I stay here on this station being constantly humiliated? Maybe, if I went floating off into the darkness, I'd get intercepted by the celestial comet wall. I could board those shepherds' jingling charts and travel with them among the stars. Then again, I might also fall through the cracks of the cosmos into a great Leviathan's abyss, like a mayfly into the mouth of a giant whale. Is it warm and dark and moist inside them? Or is it, like the Nameless said, more like the gentle, starry sky? If the latter, at least I'd be able to witness such a magnificent sight before death takes me. It'd be better than staying here and being treated like garbage. It really doesn't matter where I die. No one would care anyway. Beep, beep. Balance confirmation complete. Red lights are flashing inside the balance cabin. The noises tell me the inspection mission is complete and the protective field's power balance is intact. Dying in the maw of the great abyss is just me blabbering. Right now, I have to brace myself against the control station and compose some formal reports. Surely terrible handwriting won't be an issue. Maybe I shouldn't waste this first-hand info and try to use it to complete the anti-gravity protective field research report as soon as possible. Might make up for my previous research's undesired results and regain a few self-evaluation points that way. Or maybe I should go find Wen Tiangweng in the repair room and get something for my nerves. That would loosen me up enough to be honest with myself about how much I loathe writing research reports. Through the porthole, I can see the faint blue-violet lights of the anti-gravity protective field dispersed across my little view of the cosmos. It has been around for 8 amber eras. It's hard to imagine anyone other than the IPC creating something that can last such a long time. Was it originally conceived to honor Madame Herta, or as protection against some unforeseen but unclarified danger? Or both? It doesn't matter, because soon those monsters will arrive, and they'll be throwing themselves at the space station more frequently now than in the past. The mutations with them will have just gotten more horrifying too. This past era, they've just been subjects in the research cabin, only roaming the station as whispers and phantom rumors. Now, though, we're on the front line, and it's very likely I'll come face to face with them eventually. That isn't exactly bad news. Honestly, it's thrilling. Information about the Legion always gets monopolized by the elite researchers. Observing the station's most prominent enemy would be much more interesting than inspecting and repairing ionization balance and researching defense upgrades. Why is upgrading our defenses something a researcher like me needs to worry about? Does the IPC only make the defenses and not offer any post-sale services? and putting the responsibility for all our survival on the shoulders of the researcher with the lowest evaluation score in an era doesn't make any sense at all. I think this whole thing is a trap. Once a researcher fails here, he confirms he's not good for anything more than physical labor. I don't have the slightest interest in this field, but if I don't produce a decent research report on it, I'll still be having this stare down with it in the next era. What a spectacular form of cyclical punishment. I don't really understand why everything has a score. Obviously, someone's going to say that only a bottom-feeding failure like me would question the logic of a point system. Every system year, it's the same. All the researchers line up to enter the scoring room, so the space station can inspect us in the name of erudition. Like pigs for the slaughter, we get branded with elite, average, or inferior scores. For the sake of higher scores, unpopular or esoteric topics of research, or those with a longer reporting period, get deserted, while flattering and showy topics boom. When I saw all those researchers avidly pursuing these artificially high scores, I understood something. We're not being blessed by the erudition, but exploited by it. It easily controls this crowd of intelligent minds by putting all their unrestrained ingenuity in one specialized place, and thus annihilates any chance that they might think freely. I can't help but think of the situation on my home planet, the one marked Sheen 41 on the Hosea star map. Back then, I was such a genius with so much energy. When I first showed potential for the test, my childhood companions were no different from the station's shallow researchers. They huddled around me, cheering, just like those researchers are currently celebrating the heroes studying the Legion. Those kids prayed I would one day take them away from Sheen 41, that one day I would show the residents of Sheen 41 what life is like in the segmenta beyond the colonized places. They once dreamed of a different life, one where they didn't waste their entire lives harvesting hallucinogenic spices just so their slinkin' overlords could chase their dreams of immortality. It was only after arriving at the Herta Space Station that I learned the Slinkins aren't the rulers of the cosmos. Far from it. Compared to the real supreme beings in the cosmos, the Slinkins are no different from the human residents of Sheen 41. If the people back home could just understand that and muster their courage, they would revolt and shatter the weak social control the Slinkins exert over them. But they can't, because they don't have that knowledge, or that bravery. Although I've conquered my lack of knowledge, the cowardice that grows in Sheen 41's oppressive soil is rooted deep in my bones. That is why I stayed silent when I received my single-digit score thanks to those unpredictable spiritual organisms. I weathered the gaze of the Skynet in the scoring room just as I weathered the acid rain of my home planet. I was humiliated, I was burning with it, I was full of hatred, and I was silent. But even those feelings have become a hollow excess. You'd think that the ones on top of a stratified society would relish their superiority over everyone else, and outside of this station, that's certainly true. But here, it's worse somehow. The researchers here don't bother with smug superiority. All their effort is bent toward gaining Madame Herta's attention and acknowledgement. They don't flaunt their status at me. They walk past me, like I'm just a harmless ghost. There've always been harmless ghosts wandering this station in silence, hasn't there? It's just that I only bothered to notice them when I, too, became one. I still haven't found the courage to tell my family on my distant home planet the truth of my situation here. I don't want them to know that up here in the space station they gaze up at day and night, the genius of Shin 41, for whom they had such high hopes, is nothing but an inferior grade pig. Eikura Shu.